Welcome back to Session 3 of the Superintendent's Learning Series for Parents. Today we're going to be focusing once again on continuous improvement, and I appreciate you being here today. I hope you were able to watch the first two videos because this will make more sense if you watch the first two videos. And I'm hoping that this series is really going to help you better understand the continuous cycle of improvement that we have at FMPSD. Today we're going to focus on the plan part of the cycle, which is the second leaf in the four-leaf clover, if that's what you want to call it. Our plan is designed to meet the needs of students while we're optimizing the resources that we have. This is timely right now because our schools are just developing their plans and parents will be asked for their input through your school council and surveys that come from the principal. So this offers you an opportunity as a parent for your voice to be heard, which is important, and it's just one way that we do this. There's other ways that we engage you, but this one allows you to give feedback into the education plan at your child's school. Although the budget did get announced not too long ago, we will delay a presentation on that until we fully had time to review the new funding manual, which we only received 2 or 3 weeks after the public announcement about the budget. So the division plan is a requirement by the Ministry of Education, and it's built to assure that the public can see that we're doing what we said we would do. The division's foundational statements are what drive the focus for our students, and so these belong to the Board of Trustees. And we think of these beliefs, the mission and the vision, when we're planning anything we're doing at the school level. This is what's at the core of learning in the division. The plan that the schools are about to build are based on results from a number of pieces of data at the school level, including those from the Alberta Education Assurance results, which is from the surveys that the parents complete in grade 4, 7, and 10. It also includes local data that's analyzed, and they look at all of the strengths and all of the weaknesses. They identify what those are, and then that helps to determine if what they're doing is working at the school, and if it's not, they try and determine another direction that they feel that they need to move in order to get better success. So at the division level, there are meetings held between members of the senior leadership team and members of the school administration team, and those happen twice in the year, once in January after they've had time to look at their results, and then once in March. And the purpose is basically to allow schools to speak about their data and what they're doing to help improve the results for students and that overall improvement in general for the school. Prior to the January meeting, a senior leader from division office will review all of the school data from multiple sources. So you can see some there on the screen, the Alberta Ed Assurance results, literacy scores, numeracy assessments, check data, our school survey data, attendance data, and even more. The reviewer, who is one of the senior leaders, looks at where the strengths are in the data and where there's opportunities for growth, and then any questions or additional comments that they might have about the data can be asked as well. And here's just a few other places where we're looking at data. CRM data, which is the collaborative response model. It's a framework that's used at the school to meet and discuss strategies that could be used for certain behaviors. They look at the education plan, the PLF plan, the professional growth plans, the instructional leadership, attendance of staff and students. These are all factors that are viewed in the data. And then when we meet with the school administrative teams, we have specific questions that we ask them. We talk about their goals and how they're going to engage stakeholders and develop their education plan. We talk about how they're going to incorporate their needs into professional learning, because that plays a large part in the education plan and the success rates. We discuss their successes so far in the school year with the strategies and the resources that they've been using, and then we talk about where they plan to go next. It's also a really nice touch point to be able to see what progress they've had so far with strategies that they had in place from the year before. Schools must then proceed to take all of the input from the stakeholders, so from the parents, from the staff, and sometimes from the students at the high school level, and they develop a plan that includes baseline data, the goals that they want to work on, the strategies and the measures that they are going to use in order to assess progress towards that goal, and then any identified gaps that they might have in teacher practice are noted, and that will guide the work that they do during PLF time, because they're also planning their PLF time when they're planning their education plan. Meanwhile, as the schools develop their school plans, the senior leaders at district office are developing department goals. They're determining what are their strategies and measures that are going to support the division plan, which in turn also supports school plans. And then from this and the school plans, the writing team, that's the team that's writing the education plan, also takes into consideration all of the school goals and proceeds to an analysis of the division-based data to determine what are our priorities going to be. So in front of you on the screen right now is just an example of the teaching and learning department plan for one of the priority areas, one of their goals from the last year. There's actually quite a bit there that they're doing when it comes to strategies and measures. So I just wanted to show you so you can see it kind of looks like similar to what the schools have in their school plans. In the end, we just want the school goals, the division goals, the priority areas, and the provincial goals, as well as the division mission statement. We want them to all align. So we are required actually to align with the province's goals, and then they tell us that our school goals should align with our division goals. So I guess it helps to structure everything so that there's a stronger alignment, and then the success will be even greater than if we were to branch off in 1,000 different ways. Last year we had 4 priority areas, and this could change based on the data review and the goal development. We've had 4 priority areas for the last few years. If we've been seeing lots of success and we've met our goal, we might change the number of priority areas, but what you have in front of you is what we've had for the last couple of years. And this is just an extra slide that I wanted to share with you so you could see in the top left-hand corner, we know this priority area is to promote growth and success for all students. And then in the little table with all of the stars, you can see the strategies that they're using to improve in the area of, looks like literacy perhaps. And then, it's graduation rates. And then the apples, the ones with the apples are the results. That's the measures. So we know how we're measuring whether those strategies were successful. We have to have a way to measure each of our strategies. Otherwise, we're implementing strategies and not tracking any data. We don't know if it's helping or not. So data collecting is very important. And then you can see we did the same for each of the 4 priority areas. Schools, as I said, are also simultaneously working on their professional learning Friday plans, which we discussed last day, so that whatever is needed to build the capacity in the staff can be planted into this plan and then overall have impact on student achievement. So what they're doing on Professional Learning Fridays is not loosey-goosey. It's very much also aligned to the education plan, and they are collaborating in different ways in different priority areas to improve their teaching practice. What they do on one Friday is usually repeated sometime down the road on different Fridays, or maybe every time they meet on these Fridays. The goal is that continuous improvement. So they are learning something, they are implementing something, they're coming back and talking about what they implemented and whether it was of value or whether they had challenges. And then their peers are giving them other suggestions that they could try if what they tried didn't work. Maybe it's a different way to do it. Maybe it's a different resource to use. They're constantly trying to improve their practice so that the students are getting the best teaching, and therefore learning better and having a better success rate at whatever it is that they're struggling in. So that's Professional Learning Fridays. In our education plan, we also always mention challenges in our education plan, future challenges we call them. And that is because we know that the ministry is looking at these education plans and they want to know what areas are challenging for you. And so these are some of the past challenges that we had. I just threw up the words on the slide. But the board is also doing their part to advocate to the ministry on current and future challenges. And you may have seen these on social media. These are a couple of the posters that the Board of Trustees have developed to talk about the funding model and what's not working for us and how we have so many unfunded students. And then to talk about mental health is their other key focus, because if students are struggling with mental health and staff and parents are struggling with mental health, then we impact one another on a daily basis. And so we've got a lot of supports for mental health, and it's still not enough. And so we want that message to get out to the government. And so I just wanted to share how we advocate as a division, and then how the Board of Trustees at their governance level, how they are, reaching out to their people to advocate. So the education plan, once it's completed, is then submitted to Alberta Education. It's shared publicly with stakeholders on our websites, and we are given feedback as needed. So we meet with the ministry down the road, and by down the road I mean later on in time, and they will have had time to review it and give us some feedback, and we take that feedback and make improvements for the next year. We're continuously learning, planning, acting, and reflecting in so many different ways in a lot of the things that we do in the division. As we progress through these various supports and strategies that we have with us, we hope to have that continuous improvement. And so meeting our priority areas is doing what's best for kids. If you have questions, I am also able to attend school council meetings as needed. If you have further questions or would like me to share this at your school council meeting, even better, you can reach out to your school principal if you have questions about your process of the ed plan development, because they do the plan at the school level with the staff. So they can speak to this quite eloquently, maybe even better than I can. But I wanted to give you a sense of all of the different moving parts that go into planning the document that's required by the government. But also I wanted you to see that we are thoughtfully picking strategies and measures to ensure that the work that we're doing is helping to improve our student progress and that improvement for our students. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining us today and learning more about continuous improvement in the school division. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by email. You can find it on the website. Thank you.